Nice TV, the home of joy.
Hi viewers, and how are you? I believe you are well and safe, especially during this COVID season. Now, let's talk health matters. This is an area that has been deeply seated in my heart for quite a very long period of time. And for that reason, I, Ruth Boaz, will be premiering this program today dubbed Health Focus. And this is a program that will be helping you focus on your health, because we are going to be hosting doctors, professionals, nutritionists, and all those that are in the medical fraternity, so that they can help you understand the issues that are disturbing you concerning your health. I therefore welcome all of you to go to our Facebook page, like, share, create watch parties, and welcome on board your relatives and friends, so that we can start off this journey together towards a bright future full of sound health. Today, we are going to be discussing on mental health, and therefore I welcome all of you, because here at Nice TV Kenya, the home of joy, we are bringing you joy right at the comfort of your seat. Welcome and stay tuned. Welcome back. Now, today we are going to be discussing about mental health, mental illnesses, signs and symptoms of the same, and how we can be able to avert them. And today, I am hosting in our studios our psychotherapist, who is Doreen Wachira. How are you, Doreen?
Fine, thank you.
Welcome to our studios.
Thank you so much.
We take it as a privilege to come, and even calling you so that you can come and help us to discuss on the same topic. We are grateful. Now, introduce yourself to the viewer, say hi, and tell us what you do.
Good. Good evening, everyone, the viewers. I'm so excited to be here today to discuss matters on mental health. And yes, as you've heard, Doreen Wachira is my name. I'm a therapist at Kenyatta National Hospital, whereby I work with an organization that is University of Nairobi in the matters to do with gender-based violence. And I'm happy to be here today and speaking to us and working together with each one of us in the matters regarding mental health. So welcome.
Thank you for that. Now, in regards to the topic that we have today, we took time and went out to our streets so that we can have just an understanding of what people think about today's topic. And this is what we gathered. Take a look. Now, introducing Street Check. We went out to our streets to just know and understand what people understand concerning mental health, mental illnesses, and causes of mental illnesses amongst the youths. And this is what they had to say.
Mental health is that ile hali ya your brains ain't properly working.
Okay.
Kuna something that they are missing.
What do you understand by mental illness?
Mental illness ni ile unajipata uko kwa pandemic ya your brains are not they are not working correctly, yani you are abnormal.
Mtu anaweza avoid aje kupata hiyo mental illness?
Mental illness inalingana venye uliipata. Kuna wenye wanaipata through wazazi. Kwa wazazi ongeza kujiprevent na vitu zingine, watu wengi pata hiyo mental illness. Na pia side ya youth, ukitumia madre vibaya sana, abuse yani, you can get the mental illness, so una prevent tu. Kama ni kutumia tumia kidogo, kama sio kutumia chana.
Mtu kuwa na akili timamu kusema behavior zake ziko sawa, kufikiria kwake anafanya matendo ambayo inaeleweka, na itasaidia watu. Wana ugonjwa wa kiakili kusema mtu huyo akili yake ifanye poa, utapata anaweza kuwa anaenda uji, anaweza okota makaratasi kwa njia, anaweza chapa watu. Ngoja hiyo wengine usababisha kwa kutumia madawa ya kulevya, mtu anaweza kuavoid. Wengine unaweza fanyiwa hizi mambo ya ganga, mtu anaweza tibiwa. Wengine ni mtu anaweza zaliwa akiwa normal.
I'm Richard Karenga, a medical laboratory officer. Mental health. These are illnesses associated with the behavioral changes.
Behavioral changes.
Yeah.
All right. So what is mental illness?
It is a synonym of the mental disorder.
Mental disorder.
Yeah.
Now, among especially behavior.
Yes.
What causes
mental illnesses can be caused by factors. One can be maybe stigma, drug abuse, also depression.
Depression.
Yeah.
Any other thing?
Behavioral changes can vary from the dementia. Some people forget. Others will behave weird. Yeah. You might see someone or fight someone, maybe acting in a way that you see it is not normal.
All right.
Yeah.
How can we prevent the mental illnesses among us?
We should try not to depress them. If you find a youth doing a wrong thing, don't punish them heavily. Like, you should counsel them.
All right.
Yeah.
So that they
you show them this is wrong, this is the way to do things.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your contribution.
Asante.
Naitwa Muturi Nyaga. Mtu mwenye ako na timamu ni yule mtu ambaye anaendeleza mambo yake pasipo tashwishi yoyote. Anavyokusudia kutenda jambo, anatekeleza kulingana na maono yake na yake. Na pia wengine wanaona kweli afanyavyo hivyo hawa inawapendeza.
Mwenye naye ako na magonjwa ya akili ama ako na ugonjwa wa akili.
Mwenye ako na ugonjwa wa akili, yule mtu unaona hafikishi malengo yake. Yale yote yaliyokusudia kuyatekeleza hayaambatani na jinsi yapendavyo. Na pia watu wanapotazama wanaona huyu mtu kweli maisha yake inatishia kwa njia moja ama nyingine, hata maongeo na matendo yake. Asante.
Sasa behavior zake ako na akili yenye kuna ugonjwa ama kwenye behavior zake zinakaa.
Behavior zake sana mambo ya kuongea kuna challenge, manake mambo yake haina ile hali ya kufuatilia ipasavyo. Hali pia ukiangalia hata tabia zake idhabiti vile, na hata kama ni wakati wa kula chochote kile unaona hana ile mwenendo inayofaa. Na pia katika hali ya utendaji kazi yoyote, na wakati mwingine kujiongelesha na uchafu pia inamuandama.
Sasa sana kwa youth tunaweza wasaidia magonjwa ya kiakili. Na ni mambo gani sana ya magonjwa ya kiakili kwa youth?
Mostly naona kuna mambo ya kinyumbani kama vile kuwa na tisho ama vitisho vya kijamii, ama pia vitisho katika hali za kujimudu maishani. Unaweza kuona yale mambo yanachangia zaidi, hata kama kuna hali ya madawa za kulevya na kutoafikiana na ndoto zao na malengo waliokusudia pale awali. Kwa hivyo hayo ni baadhi ya mambo ambayo ya zaidi, na hii mambo ya kujihusisha na pia pressure wakati mwingine nayo inatatiza. Kwa hivyo yangu ningesema ya kwamba ni hata kama yale mtu alikusudia kuyatekeleza, in case hataweza kufikia zile ndoto zake, aanze chini, aanze upi. Jambo lingine ni kwamba hata kama kuna vitisho vya kijamii, ni vyema mtu ajaribu kutazama suluhisho kwa kutazama Mungu pasipo kuangalia the challenges in the family circles. Na hii kama ni mambo ya dawa za kulevya, jiepusha na chochote kile ambacho kinaadhiri akili. Manake shida haiwezi kumalizwa na dawa za kulevya. Shida haiwezi kumalizwa na ulevi. Shida inaweza kumalizwa tu na mtu kuamua na kuweka tumaini kwa Mungu kwa njia ya maombi na kujiwachilia kwa Mungu na kutenda kazi jinsi Mungu amemwezesha ili ndoto zao ziweze kukamilika. Ni hayo, Bwana Daktari.
So now you start by telling us your name.
My name is Agnes Wachira. I'm a pharmaceutical technologist.
Thank you. So now, what is mental health?
Mental health are the illnesses that affect our mind. Yep.
What is mental illness?
Mental illnesses are the illnesses that affect our way that we behave, our moods, and also our way of behaviors. Yeah.
So now, what causes?
Most of the illnesses, they are caused by peer pressure. That is one. Another thing is use of drugs because of our economic status. Most of the youth are not employed, so they have a lot of idleness, and then they get depressed because of the way they are living. Yeah. Yeah, these. Okay, if you talk, or if the youth are talked to, if we have groups that are going to encourage them that they can do better in their lives and they accept themselves or whatever they are going through. And one, they can be given chances to work as groups. Second thing, they can encourage not to use drugs.
Now, that, what do you have? But I want to what do I mean? All of us. Are able to also having doesn't that we can mental health and men according to that is why I say mentally well, absence of. Okay. I want to come to illness that's happened your and in your behavior. That's the opposite of mental health. And as WHO says that there is no health and mental illness, the changes that makes us unable maybe to comprehend. So mental illness don't just happen. So for example, talk of or
if you can be able to, but when it, this is something grows,
Okay.
that is something that is behind. Example, someone could be laughing, from the outside, they're very well, but deep with, there are some issues. All. And I think, see the fact about, but it doesn't just happen. There are some of the factors.
Okay. And now, explain to her that may contribute to mental illnesses.
Want to start with biological factors. When we talk of biological factors that talk of one, like whereby in see there is this kind of that runs through a family. That is one of the. Another, that is one of the thing in the factor of biological.
Okay.
Another thing is defects. Like let's talk of brain injury. Let's talk of prenatal defects when a child is growing. Let's talk of other things like we get to a place whereby there are infections, even like there are some infections, the bacterial infections that can bring about this. And I get to the second one, which is environmental. All of us are born in a certain environment, and the way we grow up, the experiences we go through, in one way or the other, they affect us. Remember, I talked about behavior. And if one is exposed, like for example, one behavior whereby you brought up, family whereby most of the drugs, there is the mental illness, sort of drug use.
So now, when you talk about environment, do you want to tell us that a place where somebody is brought up can affect you mentally?
Very true. Okay. Not necessarily a place where you're born or brought up. Like for example, let's say you come to the city of Nairobi. You know, everyone wants to come here. They think that is where life is. And you find yourself, you're not able to meet even. And remember, when we talk of men, they grow from one thing to another. Not that just a thing that happens. And it starts all the way from the stresses of life. The stresses we go through. So
day-to-day
issues. Day-to-day issues. So if you are not able to have the ability to understand and even cope and develop a skill that we call resilience, because that is a skill that helps you, no matter what you're going through, you're not able to, can be able to stretch, but you don't find yourself getting to the point of breaking. Because when we talk of mental breakdown, then now you cannot be able to take control over anything around you. That one now leads you to a place of mental illness. And we have various disorders. And as I was talking about environment, if now you're not able to meet your basic needs, now you can find yourself getting into many other things. Even trying to find a way of coping. And most of the time we find that people want to take issues to do like, drugs to help you to numb that condition for that particular time. Little do you know that as you take these drugs, then they use another. So when I talk of environment, it's simply a place where you are exposed to, where you either live, where you're acting with, and this where some respondents were talking about even the peer pressure, what things happen, all those things take place.
So now, concerning the environment, that is where I'm basing on, because most of the around are not. And according to what people have said, you realize that this is one of the areas that is really affecting our youth.
Yeah.
And if for whatever reason, this bit can that much up to going into mental illness.
Well, I keep on saying somewhere. Long as remember, I started by one us to know, no, this is a state. Because most of the time we find that yes, you turn to getting other solutions. But these are just shortly, and the impact they bring about now for the long time. Because you see, this environment, it's true, this is the environment that one is. And you know, the best thing is to be true to yourself. If I cannot be able to attain what I want, particularly what and the other way that I'm able to adapt, because there is lots of adaptation when it comes to environment, whereby you find yourself that this thing is not working. But what do you do? And also, I will talk of the same environment, which is a contributing factor. People also need to come to a point whereby they are able to get themselves out of that toxic environment. Yes, that one is very, very key. And I get back to what you're asking, Ruth, in regard to one has not been able to achieve. Let's say a youth, this is what they wanted to do, this is a project they wanted to do, and they have not been able to achieve. What are they supposed to do? I think the way a human being is created, they have various opportunities and avenues in which they can be able to adjust and be able to take over and cope with a new situation. So the thing is, I'll say it is not okay just to adapt to a solution that is going to take care of an issue temporarily, but you can be able to adapt and you can be able to find something else that is in a positive. Because remember, I said emotions are positive and negative. And these emotions, it is true, they are there to be expressed. Because anytime you're not able to express this kind of an emotion, then you bottle it up. This one now bring other issues.
Okay.
And I want to say that it is okay to feel that you have not been able to achieve. But instead of you staying there, what else can you be able to do? And this now brings about a balance. Because you see, mental wellness or mental health is about a balance. Things might not be working out, but there is something else that will crop another day. Today you'll be so excited, things are okay, but tomorrow things might not be okay. But you keep on making that there is that kind of a balance by putting in what you're making. And by so you bring a balance and you continue enjoying.
Now, there is one of them who or talked about
Yeah.
and peer pressure among us, even in marriages and even other categories. What do you think?
Good. Yes, that is a very key point when it comes to around peer pressure. Very true. Peer pressure is in all levels. Starting with a small child right there. So they can, peer pressure come in. This is my toy.
Yeah.
Don't take my toy. I need it. I need a toy like that one. I need a bicycle like that one. So peer pressure at all levels. But as I said, it's all have to come the balance and not allow the negative influence that is in that. Peer pressure is not entirely bad. No, there is a peer pressure which is good that helps you to achieve. But don't allow yourself to be so pushed away by negative peer pressure. And remember, we are bringing ourselves back because all these will be there. And that is now in relate to environment. All these pressures are there. That is what we experience in that environment. And I'm saying it's all the way from the young one up to the old. The old mzee is thinking, I've not been able to achieve this and that. My plot and I've not been able to do this and this. And because someone has done this and this, someone tells you, do this. Why have you not done this? All that is peer pressure. And I say peer pressure is good. There is that peer pressure that you can get to help you achieve something. But don't allow yourself to live so much on the peer pressure negative. And that one will always make sure that our balance. I take most of the time mental health is balance. That you can be able to, sometimes it can be this way, but don't allow it to go to the extreme.
Yes.
You can be able to. That is why I mentioned that absence of mental illnesses doesn't mean that one is mental well.
So somebody can just say, okay, example, can be normal, but yet there is.
And I want to correct you a bit, Ruth, and say
Okay.
those people who have mental illness, they are very normal. They're very normal. They are not abnormal. They're very normal. That's why I say you could be having mental illnesses, but at the same time enjoying mental. And these are the two things that confuses people. That is why I could hear, people talking of
Abnormality.
mental health. Anytime you hear this word, you think mental health, mental illness. No, but mental health is simply that you have wellness in the way you think, in the way you express your emotions, and in the way you behave. So you could be having, mental illnesses, at the same time you're enjoying mental health because you are able to control. Like when they come to our get care and treatment, what happens? Able to take care of.
Okay. Now, going to the other one, what are the signs and symptoms of mental illness?
Before I get to that, I didn't mention Nana.
Okay. Yeah, you have told us about the biological.
Yes.
You have also talked about the environmental,
Yes.
which we have done. I think that is what really our youths, for a good percent, if we can. So now we go to the
third one, which are psychological.
True.
And that's why I say most of the time someone could, but deep down there's some issues that have not been dealt. And some of these things that fall in that category is issues like, let's say, trauma.
Okay.
Trauma, yeah. Someone was traumatized when they were young. Let's say like child was defiled, sexually abused. You were not able to share with anyone, and that one remained deep in them. And you find over time they get limited, and some of these clients develop what we call post-traumatic stress disorder.
Okay.
Because they went through a traumatic that they were not able to share with anyone. And we find most of the people when they come to us and we try to dig about their past, then they get to that point to find that traumatic experience that happened, what brought about this mental illness. Another thing could be issues to do with, let's say, like divorce or a loss of parent. When if those are not, because usually what happens when issues are alive, if they are processed, then they are stored in, irrespective of us about them, because they are not stored as the raw format. The same way when issues happen, don't then in. So those are some, of course, the issue if you've not been able to go through loss and grief, can be stuck. Or even sudden issues, talk of calamity, talk of even pandemic. Their experience like COVID can be a trigger. Because someone don't know what tomorrow holds, don't know what to do. People lost their jobs. Yeah, those are also some of the come along with. And even like what we saw during, people didn't have time even to mourn loved ones. Because when they mourn, it's part of processing the loss. So if they're not able to do that, what happens? They store it in the brain and the pain that emanates over time. Because I said, some of these mental illnesses, they don't just happen. They go through a certain stages. Someone talks of I'm stressed, I'm depressed, and we are going to see some of those issues that come in when one now gets into that point of mental illness.
Yeah. Now, the psychological bit of it looks like they are just issues that happen to us,
Yes.
especially when it comes to matters personal. Like if we talk about divorce, that's a personal thing.
Definitely.
It's not something that you can really be able to share with somebody. Now, what can you do? Is there help, like for such cases?
Yes, there is help for such cases, and that is why we are out there serving our people. And I must say that it is true, some of the things are so personal. And that's why I said mental wellness or mental illness is not like the physical. You know, physical you can be able to see. I can see you, I can be able to tell, the way I can look at you,
Yes.
the symptoms that you have, you seem to be unwell.
Okay.
But when it comes to mental illness, it is so hidden. It is so hidden before now it gets to a point whereby now it is bottled up. Because I said it is just a matter of time.
Okay.
Because it takes time before it is exposed fully.
Yeah, which is true.
So if you decide to harbor and to stay with this thing, it eats you from deep within. And within no time, that is when now the explosion comes in. And now many issues happen, and some get split mind, some cannot be able to cope because the weight has been too much. And before we get there, I think it's always good to confide in someone.
Okay.
There is a saying we used to say that a problem shared is halfway solved. If you can be able to confide with someone that you know these people are not going to judge you, these people are going to embrace you as you are, then even before it gets to that point of even looking for a therapist, I think it's good to have someone you can confide in and get that support. Yes.
So now, signs and symptoms. How can we be able to tell that so and so has something that is disturbing them in the mind?
I like the way you're putting it. Yeah, these signs and symptoms, they, of course, they run over time. And as I said, the first thing for each one of us is to understand our mental health.
Yes.
And remember, I talked of mental health as simply the wellness of your thoughts, of your behavior, of your emotions. So if you are able to understand, this is how I'm able to, to do my things, and I am in charge, and I have control over situations, then from there, if this mental illness now springs out, you are able to tell. And these are some of the things. One, if Ruth, I used to do my things comfortably without any struggle, and all of a sudden, I'm not even able to wake up and to go to work. I get so fatigued most of the time. I just feel like I just want to lazy around. I feel that I don't want to engage my mind in so much things, so many things. And I find myself, I'm not vibrant like I used to be. That is a sign to watch. That is one sign to watch. And as it is, our bodies will always give us a signal. Let me give you, put this analogy of like a car. To those people who drive, you know, at a particular time you've taken your car to a garage, and it needs service at a particular point. So when that time comes, there are signals that can present on the dashboard depending on what kind of car you're using. And it is now telling you it is time for me to be serviced. And if you ignore that, you're going to get a breakdown. So the same way with the signs that we get in regard to the mental illness, if we embrace, this is what I'm getting, this is a signal that I'm getting, if we embrace that, then we can be able to avert this early enough. And I've said one thing is like, you are so vibrant, you are able to go to work, do your things normally, without any push. But all of a sudden you find yourself, you can even sleep a whole day on your bed. And you don't want to anything to do with anyone. That is not a good sign. I haven't said that you have gotten mental illness, but I'm saying that's not a good sign. It's a sign to watch. Another thing, that is simply that you don't find pleasure anymore in doing the things that you used to do. That is a sign enough to tell you something needs to be checked. And another thing is you find yourself that you have such a deep sorrow within you. that you can find yourself just crying from nowhere. Every now and then you're just there, and within no time you're finding yourself crying. And uncontrollably, you can't explain where this is coming from. That is a thing also to watch. Another thing is whereby you used to enjoy your sleep, and you're not enjoying your sleep anymore. And these signs, they are going to last, like if you monitor them, they are going to last for more than 2 weeks. Because of course you can lack sleep because of 1, 2, 3. You can feel sad because of 1, 2, 3. But if they persist and they are continuous for more than 2 weeks, that tells you something somewhere is going wrong.
Oh, okay.
So you find yourself, you cannot be able to sleep. The only sleep you can manage is just 2 hours. That is
Through the whole night.
through the whole night. You're just tossing, you're turning, and you're not able to sleep. And also that sleep, if you sleep, it is accompanied by nightmares or what we call hallucinations, that you are hearing voices that you don't understand what is coming, where they're coming from. Or you're finding yourself in a place like, people can say, I find myself as if I had wings, I was flying. Or now that what we call delusions. You're thinking now you're the next, the next president or such thoughts. You have the disturbance of your thoughts.
Okay.
That's not a good sign. And by and by, you find that now you don't want to associate with anyone. You withdraw from people. We withdraw from people.
You
And
just
remember,
want to be alone.
You just
seated
want-
somewhere, just enjoying your own thoughts.
Yes, enjoying your own thoughts. You don't want a company of anyone. You find yourself withdrawing. And remember, I've said that this can happen in one way or the other. You just feel that you just need your time. You just need to reflect. This one can happen. But I'm saying a time where you find that this thing is existing for more than 2 weeks.
More than 2 weeks.
More than 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yes. And another thing is whereby you have these suicidal tendencies, that you feel now the next thing is, I'm worthless, I better now do away with my life. And you feel like there is no much to life anymore.
Yes.
That also is not a good sign. And also a point whereby you find yourself, you are so lost, your concentration is gone, you cannot be able to remember things as you used to do. It's not also a good sign, whereby it is so persisting. So that shows that your brain is having what we call an overload. And within no time, if you're not going to take anything into account, then that one can give it now a breakdown.
Okay.
Yes.
So now.
So those are some of, then the simple, when it comes now to the outlook, like now we knew Ruth as someone who takes care of herself, you dress well, you're able to make sure that your hair is kept, and all of a sudden you don't care. You're just there.
Yes.
You don't care about how you look anymore. You don't care about your hygiene anymore. That is not a good sign.
And then I tend to believe that people have really missed out opportunities to help those who have sunk deep into mental illnesses, because at times you can see somebody want to be alone. They are even crying. But for us, we are thinking, this is just another childish behavior. Now, what can we do to the society so that they can be able to pick on those issues or on those signs and symptoms that you have talked about? Because again, I tend to feel like these have just been missed opportunities on the many mental cases that we have been having in our society.
Okay. I'll start by saying that just as WHO says, there is no health without mental health. I think mental health is responsibility for all of us. That one way we can be able to help our society, I think in this regard, mental health has been in one way or the other let's say, misinterpreted.
Yes, and ignored.
And ignored.
Yes, very much.
Yes, and I think one way is for us, first of all, to embrace that we all need mental health. And when we have that mental health, then we are going to enjoy the optimal health.
Okay.
But failure to which, if we don't have that mental health, then also understanding that if I don't enjoy that and my neighbor, Ruth, doesn't enjoy that, then as much as someone else could be enjoying that mental health, we are not complete.
That is true.
We are not complete. Because at the end of it all, remember Ruth, these same people are our brothers and our sisters.
Yeah.
And in one way or the other, they will still tag us along. Because there is what we call support system. So if one is affected in the family, then the whole family is affected. If the whole family is affected, then the society is affected.
Yeah.
And if the society is affected, then that tells us then we won't be able to achieve that health that we
We
really
will not
need.
be productive
Yes.
as we are supposed to be.
Very true. So the first thing is to embrace the issues to do with mental health and know that we all need health. We all need mental health. And mental health is for all of us.
Yes.
And from there, then I can be my brother keeper, my sister keeper, and I can be able to help them without judging. Because most of the time, Ruth, people fail to, to confide in other people because of the disappointments they have found over time. And, they have found people, I thought I can confide this, and within no time, things are out there. So it becomes destructive, and mistrust comes in. And one wonder, if I can share this and the next time I'm hearing it out there, then let me just die with my problems.
Oh, no.
Yes. So the thing is, the first thing is to embrace, and the first thing is to be a support system for each one of us. That when I see someone struggling, that won't be my joy, it should be my pain. It should be my desire to ensure that this person is supported and assisted. And by so doing, we'll make world a better place to live in. Because 1 out of 10 are suffering the mental illness.
From mental health.
Yes, 1 out of 10.
Those
So
are
the
many.
thing is, it is good for us to be, to take care of one another, to be a support system, one to the other.
Okay.
If one feels stressed, come share it out. How can I be able to support you in this? So that we don't now allow that to grow and become depression. Yes, you can be able to avert it when it is still there. Because remember, I said emotions are there. They're negative emotions. You can feel you're so angry about it. But the thing is, the good way to handle all this is to express. Because Ruth, when you are happy, you show that by shouting, yelling, and laughing.
Yeah.
What about when you are depressed? You just want to keep it to yourself.
You just want to withdraw.
Yes. Because you're thinking, the person who saw me this happy shouldn't see my tears. But I must say, it is the high time to embrace even the negative emotions and express them. The problem will be where now you just remain there. But if you're able to express, and after expressing that emotion, you're able to come back, then it is very okay. But bottled up emotions is like a soda. When you shake that soda, you remember the games we used to do when we were young, yeah?
Yes.
You shake the soda, and within no time, ukifungua hivi, that is what happens with our emotions. So it is okay to cry. It's okay to feel annoyed. It's okay to feel disappointed and express that disappointment. But at the end of the day, it is good to come back to yourself. After you express that emotions, remember, you need mental health.
Wow. So now that tells me there is a way we can be able to help one another so that we don't go into that stage of now saying there is mental illness.
True.
We can be able to prevent it. It's just in the beginning so that we don't get again to be pushed to that corner.
Very true.
That is true.
Very true.
So now, to our youths, especially, those who went to school, they did their degrees, they did their whatevers, and there are no jobs. And they are here seated, they are stressed, and we have seen like this stress can push them to the corner. And then we start talking about mental illnesses. Good. What can you tell them?
One, I think our youth, whoever, the youth that is listening to me out there, there is a need to develop a coping mechanism and also what we call resilience. Because I must say that these challenges are not new under the sun. They have been experienced by other people before. They are here to be experienced by human beings. So a youth out there, you shouldn't feel like now I've gone to school, I've hunted for a job for these many years I'm not getting a job. What are you doing about it? Because the other thing is not about, looking for a job, but with the skill that is within you, what can you do?
Yes.
How flexible are you to allow yourself even to volunteer? Because what I see, the challenge I see with the youth nowadays, they just want to feel good, don't want to give themselves into, sacrificing. So what are you doing within? What are you doing with yourself? And I will still take it back and say, this has to do with your cognition, has to do with your thoughts, has to do with how you process or how you look. What is your core beliefs?
Yes.
What is your belief system in regard to issues to do with job? Because also we must change the way we think. There is a lot to do with cognitive restructuring. You have to restructure how you think about a particular issue, especially when it comes to job. So if you cannot be able to get that job, Ruth, have you come to me and told me I've tried to do this thing and it has not worked? We see the most successful people, even the businessmen, are the people who never gave up. Like, let's say an example with a Coca-Cola company. It is selling all over the world. But remember, this man started with 10 bottles of Coke. And see now where this person is. So the issue to do with resilience, what you can be able to do, you must put your energy into that. So other than shifting your energy to now deciding I want to take it easy and just do drugs and shield myself from the reality that I'm facing and numb my feelings of not having a job, that is not the right direction. Yes.
Now, those are the youths.
Those
What
are the
about
youths.
the parents? Because also parents, I think as parents we have in one way or another failed to support our children, especially because we tend to feel like, I took you to school, so you should be getting a job like so and so. I mean, you went to the same school, but see how they are faring in their lives. What is wrong with you? What can you tell the parents?
Yeah, I must start by saying that comparison is the killer of dreams.
Yes.
And every individual is unique in their own way. How they do their things, how they're able to process their issues, how they are able to attain a certain level in life, they are totally different. And I think sometimes it's out of ignorance.
Yes.
That these parents, of course, could also be going through so much pressure in life. Let's say, for example, maybe this is a parent who is maybe in the middle life or maybe the late life crisis because they are there and they are not able to navigate those stages in life. That one can also be another thing. Because what happens, as I said, emotions are supposed to be expressed, but in a way, in a way that it's not destructive.
Yes.
Because most of the time what happens, like if I may mention what happens to a point whereby now one gets a breakdown, is if, for example, what we have what we call defense mechanisms.
Yes.
That you can be able to use to take care of a situation.
Exactly.
But those defense mechanisms, they can't last forever.
Yeah.
They get to a point now they are exhausted and they can't be used anymore.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, I take one defense mechanism, a denial.
Denial.
Yes, I deny this is not so. And that one is good because it helps you to shield you from the turmoil at that moment. An example is that you lose a loved one and you deny, no.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen. That one helps to shield you for a certain time until you go through the process. So I'm saying, like, now you can find parents, getting back to our discussion on youth, you can find parents, they are projecting. Can be also another the defense mechanism of projecting.
Frustration.
I'm projecting what is coming from me. Because sometimes parents must know that it is not about their expectations that should be met, but the expectation that this youth has.
That is very key.
So sometimes there could be unrealistic expectations.
Yes.
I expected after you're done with this school, the next thing I want you to be a CEO of this and that.
Yes.
Those are unrealistic expectations, and it is from a parent. So it's not from a youth. So what happens to that youth if you push them that way? They get so much pressure, and the next thing, they are taking drugs. to be able to take care of, or to take care of the situation,
Okay.
because they can resent
Mhm.
by the fact that you took me to school.
Mhm.
That was your responsibility
Mhm.
as a parent.
Mhm.
So it shouldn't be taking me to school.
School.
Now it
I
has to
get it.
come now with a job. So I
Yes.
think there is a lot of understanding and the dialogue. I keep on saying that, they dialogue, do a dialogue. Because also remember, this youth is at a particular stage in life. They are also experiencing their own changes in the issues that they are handling.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Now, I think us as parents, I'm one of them, and there is what I think about my children when they grow up. I want them to be this and this. But is it really a must that we put it like our children should be in the white collar jobs?
No. I think that is where we go wrong most of the time.
Yeah.
And in the times that we are living, we must allow our children to explore options that
Yeah.
they are in. Yes, that one knows this is a skill that I have. I can be able to run with this skill and I can be able to accomplish that. Because when we say it's a collar job,
Yes.
you're limiting that child.
Exactly.
Because there's someone who says, okay, well, in the past we've seen, like for example, if I give an example with myself,
Yes.
what I was taken to school to do by my parents, that is not what I'm doing now.
It's completely different.
Totally of what I'm doing. And I'm
Okay.
enjoying what I'm doing now.
The passion that is in you.
Yes.
We should let our children enjoy the passion
Yes.
that is coming from within them.
Very true.
But not what the parents expect in their life.
Yes, because those are their expectations.
Mhm.
That is not a child expectation. That is a parent expectation. And that
Okay.
is where now there will be lots of conflicts. So I
Uh-huh.
think a parent, the greatest role is to nurture.
Well.
It is to nurture, it is to guide,
Uh-huh.
and not to, command.
You have to do this.
You have to do this.
You have to be this professional.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And, that one now brings many things along. So it's good for us to allow our children be, but by helping them, guiding them, giving some form of instruction, taking, helping them to see life in a different perspective and guiding them. But not saying, you don't become a dictator. This is what I want it done. This is what I want you to become.
Yes.
No. It should be in a place that we can be able to work together and you can be able to nurture this youth.
Okay. Now, in our generation, yes, in our day-to-day lives, do you think there is a way we can be able to help people so that even those that have already gone into mental illnesses can be able to regain themselves? Is there help?
There is much help. And, Ruth, in the mental health field.
Yes.
And when I hear you talk of, is there a way even those who have mental illness? That's why I'll keep on repeating that even those people who have those disorders,
Okay.
those big names,
Yes.
that we may not want to name them, they still enjoy mental health. Mental health is for all of us.
Okay.
And that is what we need to demystify, because out there people think as long as you have this form of disorder, you are not mentally well. This person who has a particular disorder, and many times I see these clients, I keep on encouraging them, knowing that, telling them, you are operating at your optimal, you are okay. Because as long as you are able to take your medication, you are able to do your day-to-day life, you are able to control the issues that you're going through, you are able to cope, you have that form of resilience, then you're mentally well. Remember, the definition of our mental health is wellness in cognition, emotions, and behavior.
Okay.
Now look at this person who has been diagnosed, for example, with bipolar disorder.
Okay.
And of course, bipolar disorder is the issues to do with the mood swings. Can be
Yeah.
either you are high there up there and you're down there,
Okay.
you are so down, you are depressed, or you could be so excited, behold. So look at this person who has known this is my condition. And then they are able to cope.
Yeah.
They are able to take their medication. They are able to know if I'm feeling this and then, no, something is not right. that person is mentally well. Why? Because they're able to take control of how they think, how they behave, and even their emotions. They can be able to tell this is a swing. It is on the extreme.
And then they take their...
And then they're able to say, wow, let me go back to my clinic.
Okay.
I may have defaulted my medication. Let me go for a review. So that person is mentally well. The mental health is okay.
Okay.
Yes. The only thing is, when you talk of someone who is mentally ill, it's not just changes of the same thing.
And that is one thing that we have not been able to understand as a society.
Yes.
That the changes in the mind,
In the emotions, in the thinking, yes.
in the behavior,
Yes, that is what bring up this. But as long as you have seen, you've gotten an intervention, you've gone to a hospital, then you're enjoying mental health.
wow.
That is why we celebrate. We have a mental health day,
Okay.
which we are celebrating this month.
Uh-huh.
Yes, mental health, because those people who have mental illness doesn't mean they don't enjoy mental health. They do.
Oh.
Because when they're able to operate, when they're able to take care of themselves, when they're able to take care of their families and their children,
Yeah.
then they have mental health.
Wow.
Yes, so that is why we don't want to look at mental health as a disability. Yes, we don't want to look at it that way. We don't want to put them into, say, our. No, it isn't.
Okay.
Yes.
There is someone who is asking, do those people who have mental illnesses get healed? In fact, that is how they have put it. Get healed at the end.
Wow, that's a very interesting question.
Yes.
And I must answer it this way. When one gets mental illness, this is a long-term medication.
Okay.
Let's say, for example, if it is mild depression, it can be managed before the damage takes place.
Okay.
It can be in a point whereby one is put on medication, and as they come for their reviews and as they continue with their lives, and after the reviews, the psychiatrist is able to tell this person is making progress.
Yes.
Either one thing, they can be maintained on the dosage they are doing. It can either be reduced, or in case there are some other issues that are taking place, it can be ended. But I must say this, anytime one gets mental illness, this is a long-term medication.
Okay.
And I must say, this is not different like a person, sorry to say, who has a condition like diabetes.
Yes.
Because that is where I want you to see, Ruth, that this person who has this doesn't mean this person is worse, so to say. Because tell me, a person who has diabetes,
Yes.
do they live? Do they stop at any point taking their medications?
No, they take it daily.
They take it daily, and it is a long term.
Yes.
Or someone who has a terminal illness, they take it long term.
Yes.
So the same way, the thing here, the best thing is to avert before this happens.
Okay.
But when this happens, then one has to be on long-term medication. And I want to demystify this thing out there. People that are thinking that having mental illness ni kurogwa.
Nikurogwa, yes, that is where I was coming to.
Yes, let people know that this is a condition just like any other. And the best way even to know that, it's also good to have what we call, you can be able to check. Remember our first factor, which
Yes.
was biological.
Biological.
Does this run in a family?
In a family.
If it is diagnosed early enough and one can be able to tell this is what is happening,
Yes.
then one can be supported early enough. And people can be able to be brought on board. Because sometimes what makes the management of mental illnesses a challenge is whereby the support system is so poor. Because you find people don't want to identify. Not
Yes.
forgetting this is a condition just like any other. Yes. And if one can be supported, they can be able to move on well. I have
Yes.
very successful cases that comes and they are so excited. They are able now to take control over their issue. They know this is what I'm ailing from. This is the condition that I am. And I'm not allowing this condition to limit me.
So in essence,
Yes.
the people who are managing or
Yeah.
who are being managed
Yeah.
of mental illnesses,
Yeah.
there can come a time when they are in control of their mental well-being.
Definitely. And that
Okay.
is what we look forward. into achieving that.
Okay.
And we have many who can be given even the return rate come after 6 months. As long as you're doing medication, you're able to do your stuff. You're able to get your children. You're able to start up a family.
Okay.
So that is not a limitation. That is why I said mental health is for all of us.
Then I think as a society, what we are doing is judging and feeling that feeling of that those people who have mental illnesses, they are outcasts. Yes, because I've seen some being treated like outcasts or something like that. You are bewitched. Maybe you are cursed. In fact, some people take it as a curse.
Yeah. That is also another belief.
Yes, have you come across such cases?
Yes, I've come across such cases whereby one thinks, oh, this and so did this and this, did this and that. Okay, those are some of the issues we cannot dispute as much regarding to all that.
Yes.
Because mental illness has, many things to do with. And sometimes even some of the causes, as much as I've mentioned those factors, some of the causes are unknown up to now.
Yes.
There are some of the causes that are known. So those factors I've mentioned, I'm not saying entirely these are the factors that lead. There are some other unknown causes of mental illness. So there is so much around that. But what am I trying to say, Ruth, is there can be help.
Yes.
We can be able to support people even before this come.
Yes.
We can be able to be there for one another.
Yeah.
We can embrace this is the thing that can happen to anyone. Because the other thing also, we don't know the strength of our mind. There is someone who can be so overwhelmed by an issue, and before you get to know it, the next thing, this person is, the split mind has taken, taken place. So support is what we need for one another.
Yes.
We can be there for one another without judging, without discrimination, without stigma. Because most of the time we see those people who have mental illnesses, people stigmatize them. Forgetting,
so much.
Yes, forgetting this is part of you. This is part of one of you in the society. Yes.
So anyone, according to your description,
yes,
anyone can suffer mental illness.
Definitely. Yes.
Out of these many causes that you have talked about, looks like all of us are candidates.
We are candidates, definitely.
It's only that now we have been able to develop the coping mechanism.
Yes.
That
is the resilience, and the resilience is a skill that you develop over time. Yeah. So let's not think that, for me, that one is far away from me, I cannot get. That is why we need to support one another. Yes. And even I want to say this, I have seen this also happening in churches. And most of the time, I say mental illness and spirituality, it's a thin line. It's a thin line. That is a thought for another day.
All right. Thank you for that. Now, give us the parting shot. The conclusion of the matter. Advise our youth, advise our parents, advise our viewers concerning mental health and mental illnesses as a whole.
Wow. My parting shot to us today is that I would want to encourage and request us to be there for one another.
Yes.
That every time you see, someone having a challenge in one way or the other, that should pain you the more. Remembering this person is part of you in the community that you live in, in the society that we are in the nation that we are in, and even in the entire world. So if we can be able to do something, if I can be able to do my part, and you do your part, and someone else do the part, then we can be able to save, and we can be able to strengthen and encourage many lives. And I want us to have this far from us, that mental health is mental illness. Because every time one hears about mental health, they are thinking mental illness, and those are some of the definitions that I was getting. And get to a place whereby we know that mental health is for all of us. We need mental health. We need mental wellness to be able to function, even as an individual. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, we are almost going back to school as children. And I heard you saying that pandemics can also cause mental illness. Now, talk to the parents. reassure them, tell them something concerning this period.
Okay.
Because most of them, you can be sure, they are suffering fear.
Very true. And I can only say that we need to take a day at a time. And I remember the time when this pandemic, and the first case was announced from, announced in our nation. There was so much of panic. But after that, we were able to adjust and we were able to advance. So one of the things is what is happening now. We've been able to come a long way. I know there is so much of unknown fear. What is going to happen to our children? What if they get this COVID? What if we get a second wave? Because there is such thoughts out there. What if now everything is opening up and the next thing we are going to have a second wave? I want just to say this thing. Let's take a day at a time. We can only do much. Parent out there, you can only do much. And the thing is, if this fear is within you, express it. Because as you express this, then you find there is help for you. And I must say that, Ruth, we are yet to see many things, which we call post-COVID. We are yet to see, many issues coming up, the post-COVID effects. But I must say out there that we are there for you. We are willing to support you. You can always reach out to us.
Yes.
The mental health professionals are out there, some even giving services for free. So you shouldn't feel that you are all alone. We are here to support, we are here to help you, and even to work with you. You can reach out.
Yes.
Don't allow the overwhelming emotion to take over you.
All right.
There is help.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate the knowledge, the information you have given to us. I want to believe that the viewer has really benefited from it. And we are going to stop the judgment bit of it, because really this is what has taken a toll on us. Now, I want to read just a few comments so that you can have a clue of what the viewer is thinking. Now, there is one that is called Theory, saying that loving this education on mental health so much. Wow. They are really appreciating. This is an area that people really fear talking about because they don't really understand what they are going to call mental illness and mental health. You have seen even those people that you would think really have the knowledge, but they are stammering here and there. There is one, Michael Boaz, who is telling us, that was a question. He had asked a question, can I ask a question? Do people with mental issues recover fully at the end? And we have been able to answer that. I believe you have benefited. Yeah. There is Jane Omondi, who is telling us, who is telling Mike that he has asked a good question. I believe that is also what she wanted to ask about. Yeah. There is one who is called Faith Mutuko, saying, learning a lot from this conversation. Awesome. And from Benson is saying, this is great advice, especially to the youth. Wow. So you can be sure, and there are many other people who have commented on this. If you have a question in whichever matter we have talked about, feel free to answer, feel free to ask the question. Our numbers are running down there. You can be able to reach us and help us through. Now, Doreen, yes. Thank you for coming. Over and above being a psychotherapist, yes, what else do you do in life?
Wow. Yes, and before I say what else I do in life, yes, I would want to mention this one thing. For the patients who are taking medication, let's not tell them to stop. I've seen many who they say they have been prayed for, yes, and they stop medication. And over time we get the relapses and, they come back again. Let's keep encouraging them, because if you're given antibiotics to take through, yes, no one tells you don't take. Don't take. Because I've prayed for you, and there is a condition that you're trying to avert with those medications. Exactly. So let's encourage these people. Don't tell them what I've prayed for you, go and throw, yes, in the toilets, leave out all this. Because yes, remember, the same God has given us this wisdom. Exactly. He has revealed this to us. And what he has revealed to us belongs to us and our children. Yeah. So let's embrace this and walk this journey. Now, coming back to me, besides being a therapist,
Mhm.
I'm also a minister in gospel music,
Wow.
which to me I find it as a form of therapy.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, even a healer needs a healer.
That is true.
And most of the time, because we think, wow, when we listen to people, we don't have also our issues.
Yeah.
So most of the time, I like, just writing songs. I sing them out, and you
Wow.
can check out even the YouTube. There are some songs that are there.
Mhm.
And but more so, I'm so passionate about helping people. When I see a life is transformed, that is my greatest joy. I know even now, if I, rest with my fathers one day,
Yes.
I have touched a life that is going to touch other lives.
Wow.
So that is what I do. Besides that, I'm also a founder of Raba Nini Counseling and Consultancy Services.
Wow.
And you can find that on Facebook. There is a Facebook page, and I engage so much with people, and I write many things on that page. And I simply love life, and I'm also a family person.
You've called it? You've called it? Consultant?
Raba Consultancy and Counseling Services. That is a page on Facebook.
Okay.
Yes, and where we interact more, can put some things you can be able to read through once in a while.
Wow. That
Yes.
is nice. No, now,
Mhm.
do you mind giving the viewer your number? Maybe they can call you if they needed the services. Are you available for that?
Well, okay, at the moment, if you want to find me, you can find me at Kenyatta National Hospital Mental Health Department.
Wow.
That is where I am at the moment.
Yes.
Yes.
God bless you so much. So now, our viewer, thank you for being together with us for that period that we've been airing. And we welcome you to be together with us each and every Tuesday from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. as we take you through your own health. We say this is a program that is going to help you connect with your health. And today we decided to start up there. And then if there is any condition that you want us to talk about, feel free to talk to us through the numbers that you have been given, that you are seeing on your screen. That is 0728 788 660. And you're going to be helped. So thank you so much for staying connected. We believe this has been of help to you and your family. And this is going also to help us as a society to be productive once we have taken good care of our mental health. Until next time, God bless you so much. Thank you for staying together with us. God bless you.
Nice TV, the home of joy.